You don't give ceasefires to your enemy. If England had said to Germany, well, let's have a ceasefire because we're now winning the war from 1943 onwards, Germany would have said, oh, okay, fine. We'll rearm and, we'll fuck you over again. We didn't do that. We continued right to the bloody bitter end. And, we had 1,000 bomber raids going into, and whether the rights or wrongs of bombing Dresden and Cologne and all the rest of it, when we know that it was mostly civilians and old people there. Hey, as Bomber Harris said, you started it and you reaped the whirlwind. And that's exactly what Hamas have done here. Now, the Palestinian people who live in Gaza, they don't want Hamas any more than you do. All that aid money, 1.5 billion, where did it go? Well, it didn't go to improve the water system. They've been in power since, I think, 2005 or 6. What did they do with it? They built reinforced concrete tunnels, which have cost millions to build. And they, instead of increasing and improving the water systems for their own people in Gaza. But these bloody idiot Palestinians are now blaming Israel for all their woes. And all those idiots around the world, and of course the left-wing woke wankers, all the LGBT and the gay parade. Well, it wouldn't last very long if they were down there, because the last time I heard they were throwing them off tall buildings in Gaza if you were gay. But anyway, that's beside the point. I'm not going to go on about that anymore. Whatever happens in the Middle East, I hope it finishes soon. And God bless Israel. You have every right to retaliate. And I hope you wipe every member of Hamas off the face of the earth. As I hope you wipe ISIS off while you're at it. The war in Ukraine is continuing. And the Zaporizhzhia power plant, the largest nuclear power plant in Europe, has been under attack again. And those idiot Russians, and I've said before, radiation knows no boundaries, you morons. With the favourable westerly winds, the radiation will blow straight over Russia. Jesus Christ, if they had half a fucking brain, they'd be half-wits, wouldn't they? They can't fight their way out of a paper bag, the Russians. The only thing that they can do is pour troops in there. They don't give a shit how many they've lost. Nobody knows the numbers of casualties in that war now. But we know the Russian losses are approaching probably around 400,000 killed and maybe double that number injured. So over 1 million. And the Russian people are going, oh, well done, fucking great. Jesus. Because they don't know. They're not allowed to know. Parts of Russia are in terrible trouble. They've got no bloody food. They're terribly badly treated. And because everything goes to Moscow and St. Petersburg, those two big, beautiful cities that would be ideal for a couple of cruise missiles. NATO have got a few hundred of them that'll be going out of date and don't use their equipment soon. They could drop a few in there and just show them what it's like for the poor Ukrainians, anyway, Slava Ukraine. And don't forget that war on our bloody doorstep. Far closer than the Middle East, by the way, if you want to look at it in miles. The other thing I've got to talk about this morning, or this afternoon, this evening, whatever the fuck, is the BBC want to increase the licence fee. God, what a fucking joke. They're already paying a ridiculous amount for that shitty licence. I find it iniquitous that we're still paying it. We were getting it free when you were over 75, and then the Conservatives break another promise, like with the triple lock. No, you can tell when a Conservative's lying, they open their mouth. Mind you, the fucking Labor Party won't be able to do anything about it anyway. They will win the next election for sure, because the Conservatives have shot themselves in the foot. And Labor will get in. They won't be able to mend things. They won't ever wave a magic fucking wand to make it better. Meanwhile, in America, American politics. I mean, you couldn't. If it was a Hollywood movie, you couldn't make it up, could you? The House Speaker business. I mean, the corruption in the Senate and the Congress. Oh my goodness gracious me! Oh, corrupt politicians in America. Are there any in England? Oh, yes. You're fucking right, there are. Australia? Yes. And what about New Zealand? Oh, now the truth comes out about the lockdowns. And that's Jacinda Ardern, the former Prime Minister who left unexpectedly. She turned out to be a lying little bastard, didn't she? What a disgrace. That woman, she was held up as a doyen of all the women. And mouthy celebrities coming out and favouring pro-Palestine and anti-Jewish, and that's Susan Sarandon. What a fucking idiot lefty she's turned out to be. Who cares what bloody celebrities say? Do your acting, make movies. Most of them are shit anyway these days, with the odd exception. And most of the TV series are unwatchable, like the new Doctor Who, which is so woke, what with LGBT people in it, and gays kissing away at each other. I don't mind gay people. I've lived with it all my life. Half my stewards on the aircraft were gay and they were fantastic. And I got on really well with them. But I don't want to see it on TV. I feel for the kids that are being brought up today. I know I was brought up in a different era. I was brought up, where we had outside toilets, where we had no hot water. We had to boil the water to put in the bath. And if you were lucky, you got the first bath because you got less water, but you got the clean water. By the time Dad and John had a bath and you were number 3, there was this scum on the water. Hey, you lived with it. That was the way it was. We didn't get running water where I was. Kingaroy didn't get sewerage until I was in high school. I remember when they dug up the roads and put the sewerage in. Funnily enough, I'd had sewerage in Grenfell, which is a tiny little town in western New South Wales, when I was younger. That had sewerage there. Katoomba always had sewerage, of course, but Kingaroy didn't until about 1950. Would have been about 54, 53, something like that. Quite extraordinary. So we had outside loos and those disgusting night carts that used to come around once a week. And anyway, that's another story. But anyway, that's the fucking world today. In a nutshell, Pete doing a rant. I know I've gone off, subject a little bit. But basically, everybody's a cunt, except you and me and all the people who follow me. And if you only watch me for 78 seconds, well, that's okay too, because I looked at the statistics, and that's apparently the average view of my video, 78 seconds. That's not very good, is it? I hope you'll stay longer than that in future, because the best parts quite often come at the end. You know what I mean? The bishop said to the actress. Anyway, look, ladies and gentlemen, I have a lot of other things running through my mind. It's extremely active, and I've got some very severe scientific conundrums to overcome. I've got some magnificent equations here on a piece of paper, because I'm doing my calculus I find it relaxing, doing mathematics, and I know you think I'm making that up, but it's true. I can do the 2 times table with the best of them. I can even do the 12 times table and the 13 times table, and I can square root anything, pretty much. I know all the prime numbers. Well, I don't know all the prime numbers because there's so many of them. And I'm waffling. And that's the important part. That's the interesting part about these videos, you see. Nothing too serious. We've done all the serious part. We've discussed the world and it's full of shit. We don't want to go on about that. So we'll talk about absolute fucking nonsense. When you clean your toothpaste, don't rinse all the toothpaste out, because leave do a quick little tiny rinse, leave most of the toothpaste for at least 20 minutes, because the fluoride and everything does its business. If you, I've got an oil delivery coming on Wednesday, because we really should have. We've been so frugal with our oil this year because of the cost. And I'm actually getting a fill on Wednesday, I believe, and we'll be able to put the heating. Well, I've actually put the heating on now, quite low, and I've got the thermostat turned down on the boiler, which helps enormously. By the way, that graph I did of the car, the Lexus came out as the most reliable car. You read it from the top to the bottom, and the least reliable turned out to be the Range Rover, Land Rover cars. I know people read it the wrong way, but so many comments there. Wonderful, wonderful comments. I'm gobsmacked it went so well. So maybe that's the way forward. I'll just do a graph of something as simple as that, which I didn't think I thought it'd get a few views, because I'm always interested in it, because we have a Lexus. As I quickly add, it's 10 years old, just did the MOT, and it was passed with flying colours. It's amazing. God, it's so lovely to drive. Whereas in my Nissan is at the moment unroadworthy because I have problems with the crankshaft and the camshaft monitors, and it keeps stopping on me. So I'm putting that in, hopefully get that fixed. But I know there's some other issues too on that car. But it is 21 years old. Fantastic motor car. The engine itself is amazing. Okay, I've got to go. Time is running out again. I love you all very much indeed. I made myself beautiful today. I actually had a shower and a shave just for you, because you're important to me. And I want you all to have a great day. Take care of yourselves. Look after yourselves. If you know any neighbours who are struggling, go and help them. And keep warm, as warm as you can. And please, the homeless here in the UK, look out for them, because bless them, they need our help.